What is up, Flick fans, and welcome back to my channel. I just saw the brand new Netflix movie, See You, yesterday, and today we are going to talk about it. Last night was John Wick Chapter 3, and then later on today, another review, but we're going to talk about that later, and right now, let's talk about See You Yesterday. So best friends CJ and Sebastian build a pair of time machines and use them in order to save the life of CJ's brother. And it's funny because sometimes you go into a movie without reading a premise like that, so I had no clue that was their mission, that was their goal in the film. I just thought this was a time travel movie. I didn't even see a trailer. I knew it was produced by Spike Lee, so I was excited from a filmmaking standpoint because the guy knows what he's doing. Now this director, Stefan Bristol is his name, and I don't know much about his work because he's only really done shorts and television shows. I believe this is his first movie, so I was interested to see how he was going to go about this from a filmmaking perspective. And the concept of time travel is a difficult thing to execute, especially with a movie like this, with a movie based around teenagers. And you do have a lot of the teen angst and a lot of elements that you expect in a movie that has actual teenagers playing teenagers, so that's a positive I can give, because a lot of the times you'll go and you'll get somebody who's 23 years old. No, these are actual kids, and the relationship and the chemistry between our two leads is great. I loved our leads. I thought they were awesome. CJ, for me, steals the entire movie. She is fantastic. One of the better young actresses that I have seen in a Netflix original movie. Not that I have a lot of greatness to compare her to, because Netflix, you know, they don't always kill it with their films, but she's really good. And this is actually a movie that was originally not supposed to come out on Netflix. I look at the date next to the film on IMDb and I see 2017, so apparently this has been held for a long time and just now got released on Netflix. Austin, how'd you feel about the film, man? Quit talking about... Listen, I liked the movie. I liked elements of the film, and I love the idea of what they were going for, especially with bringing in something so difficult to capture without offending a lot of people, like police brutality. It's all about how you go about directing the movie. If it's handled in one way, well, then you're going to offend one group of people. If it's handled in another way, well, then you didn't do it right. You didn't showcase what you were supposed to showcase. In that regard, and what they did with that element of the plot, I really liked. I thought it was handled well. It wasn't too much, but it was just enough to give it an important, a heartfelt element to the story, and something that felt real. That part of the movie, for me, was absolutely the best part, because it was handled in a great way. You felt the family aspect and how much she cared for her brother and how much she cared for really everybody. Family is showcased really well in this film. I would have liked to have dived in a bit more in regards to the relationship with her mother and other relationships in the story. We do get to flesh out the main two characters a lot, and her brother, they get many moments together, which is something I wasn't expecting in the first act, and I really enjoyed that element of it. Now, when it comes to the time travel, I look at this and I feel like it's a different movie than what the actual themes of the film are telling us, because those were handled really well. The craftsmanship was there. But you look at the time travel, for me anyway, this was the element that reminded me of a Disney Channel original movie, just from the way it was filmed and executed when they were traveling back through. It looked, to me anyways, cheesy and corny and really far over the top, and just a different tone than what the other side of the story was giving us. This felt more like something for kids, and this felt more like something for adults and kids, something that everyone can relate to and learn from. And even though I liked how time travel came to play within the story, how maybe it causes an issue here and they have to go back and fix that issue, but by fixing this issue, you're causing something else completely. And you guys have seen that before. Just this year, Avengers Endgame, and you have Back to the Future and Hot Tub Time Machine. I could make all of the references in the world, but the difference between those movies and this film is I feel like the time travel, the rules weren't established as well as the other movies. A lot of people have complained this year to me, especially to me in the comment section, how bad the rules were for Avengers Endgame. But then I look at this movie and nobody seems to be complaining about the rules. I look at the score on Rotten Tomatoes and I'm like, but that time travel made way more sense than this time travel. And I know a lot of people on the other side of the fence just completely jumped off of this review, but for me, the time travel rules in this movie and just the way that was handled wasn't as well as I would want it to be handled, and it was very cheesy for me. This entire movie has a bit of cheese to it, a bit of that teen aspect that I didn't really want it to go into, and it does. For me, the best part of the film was when it dealt with the more important topics. I even thought the filmmaking was better when they were dealing with that. It reminded me of The Hate U Give last year. I thought that movie was really good, and I thought this movie, with all of those aspects, felt quality-wise like that film, and I have to give it kudos for that. Even though I don't think the entire film was consistent, at the end of the day, I can look back at this and say, you know what? I had a good time with it. It was fun. It was emotional. The ending to this movie is very emotional. It ended it on a super high note, and you feel, because the relationships were built out so well. No, the writing is not the best overall, but in terms of characters and character development and the relationships, I think from that standpoint, the writing is awesome. And I just like the fact that they tried something different with time travel. A lot of films will follow the same beats and do the same thing. This is a movie that brings in different elements, but you still have that time travel stamp in the background. And for me, that's really cool. It's really different and it's really inventive. And you have a cameo at the beginning of the movie. You guys could probably guess who it is. I'm not going to say who it is, but I was like, oh, that's really cool. It makes this movie significantly better. Overall, guys, this movie for me, the sci-fi elements are very cheesy and over the top, while the emotional elements are very heartfelt and important. And because of all those things, I'm going positive for my score. I'm going a 63%. I think this is one of the better movies on Netflix this year because Netflix has just given us very average to below average films with a few really hardcore hits here and there. But See You Yesterday is definitely on the good side of the films I've seen on Netflix this year, but it's not about what I think, it's about what you guys think, so I want you guys to leave those comments down below. Let me know, did you agree or disagree? I'm sure you will, but I truly appreciate you guys for watching this video, watching this review all the way through, and supporting the Netflix side of this channel because I love watching Netflix movies every single Friday and reviewing those for you guys. I'll catch you very soon later on today with another review, and then tomorrow, Booksmart. I'm finally seeing that movie a week before its release, and I cannot wait to talk about it. I'll see you guys very soon.